No, we're here.
We're
We're
here.
here.
We're coaching, making
Yeah.
it good. And I guess we're live. So
We
yay.
are live. So, welcome everyone to the Coaching to Flourish podcast. I am your host, Raj Anderson. I'm executive life coach and coach assessor. And I'm excited to be here with John Andrew Williams, who is the founder of Coach Training EDU, and also to be here with Antoine Davis, who I believe you are a life coach, health coach, pro athlete, and a
Mhm.
model. And today you are our client that we're listening to, but you listening from a coaching perspective. It's great to be on this call with you. I know you and John were on last week.
Yeah, honored to be back. Had so much fun and can't wait to see what we do today.
Fantastic. So I know, John, you and Antoine listened last week, and I connected and I played back some of the call, and there were so many seeds and nuggets and borrowed insight from that. So it looks like we're going to do something similar. So for the listeners, you get a unique experience today. So you listen to John coaching Antoine, and then for us to have a look at it from that coaching perspective, but also to hear from Antoine in terms of what it's like to be a coachee. And I guess as he's a coach too. So I'd love to hear that perspective. Is that right, John? Is that what we're doing today?
Spot on. That's it. I mean, it's exciting to see. Yeah, I mean, for me too, as a coach, I mean, often I don't know like what exactly is happening on the client end. Like you have ideas, you have things like, okay, I think this is where this is landing, but to be able to check it out and ask your client, so what was that really like? And to be able to record is amazing. I mean, I feel like one of the best ways to become a better coach is to record yourself and listen to it. And we have this technology. Everyone has this technology. The hardest part is sitting down and doing it. So here we are. Should we jump in? And I know we went through half of it. So I'm gonna jump a little bit. We need to finish this one. So I'm gonna jump towards the ending point ish on this one. For those who are enrolled in the coach training, you'll have access to the whole demo, so you can just listen to the whole thing from front to finish. We'll play snippets here. That's just the way it's going to go. But here's us. We are screen sharing. Wait, hold on, I got to do it. Here, let me try it one more time. I have to do the share sound or else it doesn't work. Oop, just kidding. It's my desktop. It's messy.
Got a view into your life and music there, John.
Oh, my Mozart.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, there's a Mozart again. Okay, hold on. Let me try one more time.
But
There we go. I got it. Okay, here we are. There's me.
Um,
I look happy, like I just asked a really good question. So we'll see what that one does. Oh, here we go. And play. We'll go back here.
Do it.
yeah.
Let's just throw it. Throw it over like what is it? Throw it over the edge. Just
Yeah,
chug
throw
it.
it over the edge. Yeah.
Yeah. Just chug it.
Yeah.
So just to give a little context, you remember this part, Antoine, where I said, hey, like there's the fear, whatever it is, let's throw it over the edge. What was that like as a client?
Yeah. It was, since the fear was sticky, it was like, multiple attempts were needed. It was like, you know, like shake your hand a bunch of times, but and also I was like, I guess with the stickiness, like it felt like I was resistant to it. Um, like I wanted to keep it as well.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, part of me would like asking to throw it more out of curiosity of would you actually throw it? Like would it go away? Would it stay? Um, I wasn't attached to it going away, if that makes sense, as a coach. More curious about what happens next. Yeah, let's keep it going.
Yeah, let it go. Boom. Just for 10 seconds, let it go. What happens? What do you
I feel
notice?
there was stickiness here, and I really wanted it to go.
I feel free. I feel able, unhindered. Unburdened. Yeah.
You're doing great work. Let's go to that positive assumption. I just want to up it a little bit. What would it feel like to charge 1,000 an hour?
I wouldn't. It would feel unbelievable. Yeah, to be providing that much value to people. Yeah.
Right. All right, so let's go back to 250 and let's go to the positive assumption chart now.
Mhm.
What are the positive assumptions?
The positive assumptions are that I can really do this, that people want to help me. People want my help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm charging too little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, what's coming to me is I'm always been big on under promise and over deliver. And I think that might be keeping me stuck in this moment where like if I'm charging 250, I feel like I should be giving $500 worth of value. And maybe I just need to just stretch my mind and just serve and just literally just serve $500 worth of coaching each time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what perspective does this what perspective do you find this leads you to?
The over deliver perspective?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the over deliver thing might also be I'm not sure. I feel like it's it's another place to explore. Like what's the usefulness of it, what's not so useful about it.
Yeah.
Feels like pressure to me.
Yeah, an expectation, like a standard.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not all heavy. It's like, yeah, there's like an energy to it, but it also feels a little, why? Why is that necessary?
Yeah, I feel like that's how you create like raving fans or like just people who want to talk about it. Like, I can't believe he's only charging this and I'm getting twice triple the value.
I mean, it's not even, I mean, the value that a coaching session provides is priceless. You're changing a life. You're changing the direction of a life. Yeah, let's go in the priceless perspective for a minute. Raj, what do you think?
This is so interesting watching the body language. I thought it was a great question, and you using the assumption chart. Yeah, I'm curious about this perspective and belief. Antoine, what are you noticing in your body language as this is happening?
I'm moving and grooving. I like cannot sit in my seat, or I'm actually standing at this point, but I'm moving around a lot.
I can see you processing as John is asking the questions. And the other thing I'm curious about, John, is since there is some resistance that is kind of coming up here and we're connecting this, we can see that Antoine is, there is something here, isn't there, about perspective and belief and maybe your values, Antoine. Where would you consider using direct communication? I'm just curious about that.
Me as a coach, or
Yeah, or some challenge with Antoine. Because I feel like there's resistance there with his way he sees his values and his standards and challenge, and perhaps there is a reluctance to let go of that belief. What do you think, Antoine? I'm just sensing that in this moment.
Yeah, I mean that nugget right there definitely stuck with me for for several days. I was like, I think maybe later on we go to say, you offer to say like the customer agrees to the value, like sets the value. Um, and that and like changing our life is priceless, like kind of released the pressure. I was like, oh, I'm I'm judging myself heavily right now based on my coaching, and I'm setting this like it almost feels like I'm counting the pennies of my coaching. Like I'm off, like every single word is valued now. And with that, letting go of that judgment and like giving space to it really helped me just kind of breathe into like that, charging that amount, you know.
yeah, I mean, I found myself as a coach at this point. I mean, I have a lot of domain knowledge of this. Obviously, this is what I do. It's what I've done. I did it for years as a coach, and now I train other coaches to establish businesses. And this idea of value, that a coach creates value, I think it's I would almost say a universal common misconception, myself included, where it's as odd as it is, it's not the coach that's bringing the value. The client sets the value, and the client brings the value. And this is why I think it's so hard to market coaching or talk even about the marketing of coaching and talk about what coaching is, because let's say someone asks, so how did you as a coach create value? You say, oh, I ask questions. I create value from getting the insights from you as a client. And they say, well, you're just going to ask me questions and I pay you for that. Like, how is that? I just ask myself those questions and I can come up with my own answers. And you know what I mean? Like that's a very real valid thing until you experience coaching and you realize, oh, the processing of it, the hearing yourself say things out loud, the ability for a coach to create space for a client to explore wherever they need to go is sometimes priceless. A client might make a decision or have an insight that changes the course of their life in a coaching session. What are you going to charge for that? So I'm fighting back, just saying that, just directly, being like, Antoine, what are you doing? There's no, why are we stuck here? I mean, that's where a part of me feels. And then I think, oh, you're just being, I mean, and then I understand it. Yeah, like the idea of society holding us to standards, society holds each of us to different standards depending on what we look like. And then I'm also fighting the idea of, yeah, it's not fair. And so a part of me is holding that space at the same time as I feel like there's a misconception of where value is being created, but it's here for you to look at. And there are different standards. Like there's a lot happening below the surface that I'm holding in. And trying to be over there on the other side with you at the same time.
can I just add, John, coaches, if you're listening to this, there's some really brilliant stuff there. Rewind back a few moments and stop and just listen to what you think is the value of coaching. I love that message, John, that you gave us all as coaches as well, in terms of the value is determined by the client and not us as coaches. I wanted to capture that and now kind of come back to what you're saying here. Is there anything else you would add for people that are listening to the coaching right now?
I mean, it seems, I don't know. We did a sample training class this morning, and I think the biggest misconception of coaching is that a coach gives advice or knows what to do. This is an interesting thing because I feel like I do have advice here. Like, okay, like if you're really establishing a business, like these are the things you have to get in place. Yet at the same time, when I'm working with you, Antoine, I think, yeah, you have you have the ingredients. You have paid clients. Like, you are on the path. It's amazing to see someone's absolute brilliance and also feel oh yeah, there's some pretty common bumps in the road that, oh yeah, we'll just smooth those out. Like, values created by the client, not you. So just get over that one quickly, because then you have to get onto the big ones of like, what's your brand? Who are you really meeting? Like on a larger level, like what is the change that you're trying to create in your, what is the long-term free generation impact of the coaching that you deliver to your clients? Like, go there, you know what I mean? Like that's where I'd like want to, as a coach, be like, all right, where do you really want to put your time, energy, and attention? Put it on the generational healing that you're providing, not like, am I charging enough or not? You know what I mean? That's where that's like my heart, like where I want to go with it. But at the same time, I'm like, nope, you're the client. You're here for a reason. Let's get as much use out of this as possible, and then we'll go forward from it. I was so curious, Antoine, your thoughts on all of this. I'm being as transparent as I possibly can.
Yeah.
See where we're at.
Yeah. I think in the moment, like, I think just because of our dynamic, I'd be like very accepting of that direct communication and almost advice giving in this moment, because right, because you are one of the leadership of the school, so I'd be like wanting to get that information. And also, but what like the last thing you just said, like the healing generational like pain, that's something like I've recently am connecting to. Like, that is what I'm actually doing in all this, and like who am I being, not only in coaching but like in life as well. And that's like my role in this, is like be this beacon of healing so that others may heal as well. So yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to feel all these feels and be somewhat close, but at the same time, it's not my work to do. Like, it's, what I mean? My work is only to like just be here with you, be here with a client doing that work. And that to me is, I mean, there's no greater honor as a human to be with another person and see them grow and be a part of that, but it's not yours. Does that make sense? It's not my growth. It's not about me as a coach. All right. Should we keep going?
Yes, we have to keep going because I've got all these coaching questions popping up, and I'm like, my role is not to be asking a coaching question of Antoine now, it's to be listening to the recording. This is what happens, doesn't it, when you're a coach?
We get 2 minutes and we're like, all right, let's expand it to 20 of discussion. All right, here we go.
6 hours later.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I think we could look at a session for 6 hours. What actions want to come naturally from here? So I'm operating now in the assumption. This is just assumption chart.
Coaching is priceless.
Yeah, look at that.
Mm, it's not really seeping in. Mm, yeah, maybe I'm just so money conscious. I'm just like, it's hard to shake away from this frame of mind.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your belief, or what's your belief around your ability to do hard things?
I believe in my ability pretty well.
What's holding you back here then?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know, Raj. I don't know about
I
that.
guess what I'm searching.
I mean, maybe, but part of me thinks it's like a coaching trap. Like, this is a hard thing. What's your belief? I do well, then why not here? I mean, part of me is like, I'm just gonna ask the pointiest question I can ask at this point, because something here doesn't make sense to me as a coach. Like, I'm holding space for it, I have compassion for it, but part of me is like, why? Where is this coming from?
Yeah. And I think that's what I was meaning earlier in terms of that direct communication or prickly question opportunity. And what would you have done differently there, John?
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think back. I mean, I feel like I'm doing what I've been trained to know to do. I'm not doing it wrong, I would say, but I don't know if I'm doing my best, or if I'm on it, on point, on point. Yeah, I don't know. What would I do differently here? I don't know. Antoine, if you were your coach right now, what would you do?
Mm, yeah, I mean, just name it. It seems like maybe ask was like, or make it obvious, like, it seems like you're stuck with this. Like, what is really holding you to these ideas, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, that would work. Part of me is kind of into the stickiness of it too. Like, okay, cool. Like, I'm holding space for the stickiness, which I think what's saving it, like where it's making this still okay as a session. I think if I were to get annoyed with it, you'd feel that annoyed, and then, uh, I could easily go into, we're recording this. I want to share this with all my people. I need a good like session recording, like, what I mean? We're gonna use the podcast. Like, what are we doing? Why are you stuck here? Dude, you're beyond this. You've gone beyond this. Why are we still stuck here? This is like, 2 years ago. Yeah, that's what's coming through.
I do want to acknowledge your intensity and your presence, John. You are so there. Like I can see in your face,
I'm
attempting to,
Antoine at this moment.
yes,
I
can
am
see
him.
it.
I am over there. Yeah. 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 All right, we got a couple more minutes and then we'll wrap this up.
Or is like, I want to do this the first time and to get a yes.
Yeah.
And maybe I've experienced this before when I used to be a personal trainer, where like as you increase your prices, the amount of no's generally increases.
Right.
So increasing my capacity for now.
Yeah.
Now,
It seems to me like you've already done this work. Like you've
Yeah,
already
there we go.
done the internal work of
Here it
doing
comes.
this. You know, of it feels like you're in some ways beyond the question. But there's an odd stickiness here. Like you know this is a smart strategic move.
I do know it. I 100% agree with that. I mean, maybe,
Yeah. Go.
maybe I just feel like it's just a huge gamble in a way. Well, it's like a huge gamble. I feel vulnerable. I feel like I'm gonna get so many no's that I feel like I'm gonna pivot.
Pivot where?
Just like stop coaching almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say that, how true does that feel congruent? Does that feel where are you at with that?
It doesn't feel it feels like I'm gonna slow down and gonna lose momentum. But it doesn't feel as I say that it sounds kind of preposterous.
Yeah.
Like no way that's gonna happen.
No, you're already there. It's I'm trying not to be hyper. It's fascinating to spin here. Like as a coach, like part of me, like Antoine, dude, what? Why? You know this? Like even you said that out loud, I'm like not even gonna believe it. But I'm holding space for it. Yeah. But I also feel like I mean you've done personal training, you know how to sell high ticket things. You know how to do this.
Antoine, I
Yeah.
was curious about your body language, your face, right? You, when John was saying you are beyond that, you're above kind of that place. What was happening with your body language there? Yeah,
I was
great facial expression then.
yeah, yeah. I was more of like, like is that true? And I think what I'm getting from my own body language is like it it just feels like I'm in a tight space that I'm trying to squirm myself out of. And like even now I can't really put my finger on it, even though I have made progress in this area. Um I don't really have a great identifying phrase or even a sentence to say like what is really holding me back. I still have that sense today, but it's looser. It's being challenged. It's like at first it was don't touch it. Now I'm like touching it and it's moving a little, but it's still there.
Mhm.
How you
So,
doing on time lunch?
we'll close off in a couple of minutes. Is that good with both of you?
That was great.
Yeah. So, John, see what your thoughts are on this as well. One of the things I was still very curious about was that at one point where Antoine was like, I 100% agree. And I'm thinking, what would I have coached or said in that moment? And I think I would have been, because I can be kind of prickly when I'm coaching, I would have said, do you 100% agree? Because I wasn't feeling it. Because I just wasn't feeling that in that moment. I was like, I think
We
you're
get that
100%
talk with two
agree.
MCC coaches. You know what I mean? You get like, every sigh, every body language
Right.
is analyzed. Was we good or not good? I don't know. You feel it? You trust your client or not in this one? I mean, not trust trust their brilliance, yes, but you trust their surface, like, I don't know. This is the excuse that I always tell myself. I don't believe it.
Yeah. And I saw you smile when I said that, Antoine. What did you think?
I think that is like I said that as that's 100% true as like yes, these are in the neighborhood, but this is not the exact location of so like even what I just said now, like I still don't know what it really is. But I've still made moves on it as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean it's fair. Mhm. I think there's some value too in the looking at these things as business stuff as it money makes it real, and it's either you're providing the value or you're not, and if it's not, then you gotta keep making moves until you figure out what starts to click. And uh I think from yeah, we go through the rest of where we're at with it. um Should we just jump to the last minute, see where it lands, get the motion feel of this, and then uh it's a good 4 minutes though, but we'll have to get to the end. Mhm. Last minute. Here it is. This is how we close this out. Almost like you don't really want to fight the slingshot. You're like, oh, it's part of the process.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so what
maybe part of
happened
the process is
that bit of time, just to catch everyone up, and then we'll see where this is. We got to the point where the stickiness, the fear, all of it is an accepted part that we will embrace, and it's just part of it. It's like a milestone along a journey. When we got to that, Antoine, what was that like for you as a client?
It definitely I did not oh yeah, like did not think this was a useful thing for me. And or like the possibility of it being useful or being part of my process and something like that, like maybe wrestling with it and maybe it being sticky is like the resistance I need to go through to like then shoot off.
Mhm. Yeah, I like that frame. And it felt to me as a coach, it felt like it felt more congruent. Like, oh yeah, this is a congruent thing. Like we found it. I felt like by this point I found congruence. If that makes sense. All right, let's finish it out then.
hitting against it too.
Yes.
No.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows?
But you get to
Yeah.
shift it, right? You get to be the one in charge of the process, not the process is running you.
Right. Right.
Mm.
And definitely something to think about.
How do we do on this session agenda?
Fair. I feel like I have more of an idea of like the baby first step. Like
Mhm.
just talking to my friend
Mhm.
who wants to help me, and I think once I crack that egg, it's the next one, the next one, the next one.
Mhm.
Really
Mhm.
get it going. So
And then it stops. We go on longer, but that is the stopping of the we debrief the session slightly.
Lovely. I mean, it's so much fun being on with both of you and listening. And John, just going with the flow and demonstrating how you're doing it in real time. And I like the way that you're using that assumptions chart as well. You always demonstrate pause really great and stepping into the client's shoes. I think you were showing the challenge really well. Um, just some of the other things I was thinking with coaches listening, and there's not enough time in this, right? Because there's so many different directions you can go and you have your own directions as a coach and your own style. So I was thinking, is there opportunity for even the inner critic, or where else could we take these beliefs and values? So I really wanted to dig deeper into this belief of under promise and over deliver. And, you know, if I charge $250, I'm going to have to deliver $500 worth of value. Ah. So, yeah, those are some of the things I was kind of curious about, the standards and values and belief systems, and maybe playing with metaphors. So it's just some of the thoughts I'm having as I was listening to it. But I just want to acknowledge you and thank you, John, and thank you, Antoine, for just being so open and real and courageous. You know, you are here live listening to yourself being coached and discussing it, and I think that takes real courage.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I want to make the most out of this time, and that's use you two MCC coaches as a resource. So I know the best way to do that is to show up, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, Antoine. Antoine's generous client team. It's amazing to feel your world and to feel like, yeah, you're on the path. Like, and I feel like you're further along the path than you realize. And it was an honor to be a part of it. It really was. And thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is fun. I like this new format, Raj. What do you think? You know, the demos make it more real. Like, it's
Absolutely.
like, here we are, you know?
Absolutely. So much learning. So many things to still be curious about, but lots of borrowed insight as well. I love using that word from John because I just take away these nuggets. I want to just thank everyone that's listening. Grateful for all of you and being in this space. And you know how it works now. So if you want to volunteer, you want to be coached by an MCC coach, drop us a message. And we will see everyone next time, won't we, John?
Yeah, we got you got to get some sessions for you, Raj. We got to get some sessions because I have a backlog. I have like a dozen of these now, a dozen demos. So it's kind of like, all right, everyone, like that was a nice rush, but you know, I'm suffocated with recordings at this point. Let's get some from Raj, maybe, right? Or
Yes.
if Antoine, if you got a demo client yourself or someone, if you want to bring a session in and have us dissect it in this way, that invitation is also open. We'd have to get permission from everyone, of course, but the invitation is there. This goes to all the coaches, everyone listening.
What a great idea. Yes. And we will review it with love, won't we, John?
Love and kindness and our very best, most useful insights. Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, it's been great, and we look forward to seeing all of you next week.
Yeah. Thanks, Antoine.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you both.
Bye.